Ezra Miller not being replaced as the Flash, and given the fact that we just had a segment, what was it, Monday, called The Great Cancel, which I referred to as The Great Canceling of Hollywood, which is basically...
It was everyone is canceled, therefore no one is canceled.
Yeah. Basically, you know, if you look in the wrong direction and you say something that isn't 110% pre-approved by a script supervisor in the real world somehow, you are going to get in trouble. That is what Hollywood has given us in the world today, which I had at one point laugh at because I try to not be this way, but I tend to kind of take great joy in like how, for as moralistic as they behave, seeing their inability to follow their own rules kind of always gives me a little bit of joy on the inside. I'm becoming very ghoulish.
I mean,
in
it's
this
also
job.
like, even the theme of that was also like, if you're a horrible person, you are still... I mean, even if you aren't guilty, you'll be painted with the same brush as the person who is guilty.
Yep.
And then, like, there's no discussion of, like, the degree to which you actually infringed upon the law or, you know...
Nuance is kind of
There's
dead.
just no... it's like a binary system. You are either a person or you're not.
Yep. Nuance is kind of dead to them. So it says, Warner Brothers is reportedly not considering replacing Ezra Miller as the Flash. With The Flash slated to hit theaters next year, many DC fans have maybe wondering what actor Ezra Miller's future is in the titular role, given their multiple arrests in Hawaii recently. I also want to point this out, as somebody who does not want to be rude. I used to try very hard to get Ezra's pronouns as correct as possible, but given the amount of arrests and physical assaults...
It's like, if you can't even show the most basic respect to other people, which is just not physically assaulting them,
like,
why would anyone go to the effort of doing a special little...
I'm going to try my best
pronouns.
still, because that's it's a value that I inherit, but I'm not going to stop the show and apologize repeatedly if I screw it up.
It's very Midwestern politeness.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna
We'll
say
play.
straight out of Minnesota over here.
I feel very judged right now. I feel
But in a
very
nice
judged.
way. We're proud of your
Thank-
manners.
Thank you. So it says, now even more reports are surfacing that seem to indicate that the higher-ups at Warner Brothers are not considering replacing the actor after all. Adam B. Vary, who is the senior entertainment writer at Variety, reports that sources say the role isn't being reconsidered at all. That's, at this point, they kind of can't, because the movie's a year away and they're so deep into filming. They're well past...
I don't think there was ever even a question.
No.
They were just saying that talks are being had, because that's what you have to say when your star is just out here committing crimes.
I feel like they're like talks are being had because we're being forced to do it because this guy cannot stay out of the headlines.
He's had a solid couple weeks without hurting anyone, so
Thank
we're on a good
goodness.
path.
Let's give him a medal. A solid couple weeks,
I
you
mean,
say.
it's
Like,
just like
maybe he's been-
compared to before.
He's probably
That's
been...
pretty good.
Although some people never have these allegations brought against them. It's crazy.
My
Also, they're
theory-
not allegations. They're like proven fact. He's got like an arrest record in Hawaii.
Still gotta love that video of him like dancing and like living it up next to like his mugshot on the TV.
That's living your best life. My theory is that he's just been inside watching the Johnny Depp trial the whole time.
But
So
now
he
they're on
hasn't-
break, so he's going out back to the bars again.
Women in Hawaii, beware.
Please,
They're
stay safe in your homes.
shelter in
It's
place.
code red.
Ezra Miller is on the loose, not in custody.
Shelter in place. Ezra Miller is loose again.
Stay away from all karaoke bars. Also, chairs.
Flood sirens going off.
I was gonna say somebody should Photoshop like him on set at one of the movies, and all places where chairs would be are mysteriously missing.
Or like all the chairs are just padded with like foam.
Yeah.
It's like when you're at like Yellowstone National Park and they're like, "Don't approach the bison; they will charge." I know they're fun to take a picture of, but stay in your car.
Like on the red carpets, they're like, "Don't approach the Ezra."
They.
He may
will
approach
hit
you.
you.
There's nothing we can do about it at that point.
One of the reasons I brought this up is because the case that I found the most interesting was that we just recently had Fred Savage, who got kicked off of a show for basically
Being a jerk.
He's a jerk. He had a sexual assault allegation against him when he was 16 years old. That was not what this was about. What they're saying is that it's a repetitive form of behavior from him, that he's done such things, and says when my client, this is in regarding to his allegations in 2016, where it says the lawyer of this woman who sued him, her name was, I always get it, Juan, I forget how to pronounce her, or I didn't get the full name here. Yeah. Yoonju Huang. a costume. So she was a costumer. So she designed costumes on a show he was working on. She came to him and asked about fresh allegations. After their settlement, Hwang's lawyer, Anita Seda, said to Page Six on Monday, this was a long time coming, and I'm not surprised in the least. When my client came to me in 2018 with her allegations against Mr. Savage, we discovered that there was at least one lawsuit that had been filed against him in the past, and that Mr. Savage had allegedly engaged in the same type of behavior, not towards my client, but another woman as well. I'm guessing they wouldn't be able to speak on that if it's finished out of court. If they settled out of court, most likely they wouldn't be allowed to speak on it, but they're making their inferences from the fact that this did happen, that the court case did happen. It is unfortunate that it took my client speaking out and now reportedly these others before action was finally taken. So if this happens to him, in which they're talking about he was hurling, a defendant Savage was known to intimidate, bully, torment female coworkers while they were doing their jobs by yelling things like, "I'm not a dog, quit effing following me, don't even effing look at me anymore, and get the F away from me." I've been watching like a bunch of like old kind of meta stuff from Hollywood where this is exactly the type of meta humor that used to be injected into Hollywood films to kind of satirize Hollywood stars.
Yeah.
This is like, that's not so the question is,
that's the thing, like the punchline of that joke satirizing the entitlement and like emotional volatility of a celebrity, it's supposed to be that, oh, but they're not really like that. Like the punchline is that they're not actually
like that.
But they are. So how is it funny?
It's not funny.
Like they actually degrade people verbally.
So, okay. He was how old when this was happening?
This is just a couple years ago.
A couple years ago.
So he's well into adulthood by then. The sexual assault allegation.
If you became famous as a child,
I think you are emotionally
way more likely to be like this.
Yeah, and like the things that he's saying, like, I'm not a dog, quit following me, don't like even look at me anymore, get away from me, like, I understand where those are aggressive, and depending on how they're presented, they could seem maybe even threatening. But like, he's actually asking to be left alone.
Does he feel intensely intruded upon by just people doing their jobs?
If you were like a childhood star that got very little privacy, and like the allegation he said this woman who's bringing the case against him says that Sheila was like brushing dandruff off, presumably his shoulders, and he was like he freaked out. But like if. Again, it doesn't necessarily excuse it, but like I feel like there is a weird context here that I'm not getting. Like he seems like he is extremely uncomfortable with people being close to him. Is this like a documented pattern of behavior? It doesn't make him less accountable for how he presents like his
Like if you have issues that
you still have to handle them respectfully. Yeah. But like it is interesting that like they're like, yeah, he was harassing her, but he's like telling her to leave him alone. He's not like degrading her personal appearance. But in a way, like
she can't leave him alone because that's
costumer.
literally her job.
Yeah, which seems like he needs psychological help on a different level. You know what I mean? Like something I don't totally get this. I feel like I'm missing context.
Also, I want to point out that even though this is different from what happened with Ezra Miller, because what happened with Ezra Miller was offset. What they're talking about here is that if it's a costumer, then it's when he was actually acting and not just producing. And what's happening to Ezra is happening right now because he is an actor and not a producer.
It's just in his Hollywood
is just doing
everything that's going on with Ezra Miller is like on his
it's
own
on the
time.
offensive, like he is going after other people.
But my point is that they're just protecting their stars again, like they always have. A producer they can get rid of, they can replace you with another producer. Anybody can financially invest in a film and become part of the...
said Savage got kicked off of whatever he was working on, so they're not protecting him.
But no, what he's getting kicked off of now, it was not for an acting role. He's an actor and he's a director and a producer now. But the stuff that they're referring to in the past was that he got away with because that show didn't end because whatever that was didn't end because
those
it was
allegations
canceled.
Didn't come up during that time, right?
Yeah, they settled in court.
The hard thing about Ezra Miller's for the studio, I assume, is that like it's happening in real time as they're like, are they actively still filming this movie? As they're putting it together, they're like, oh yeah, we'll cut this scene and we'll put in the green screen, and then there's this flash of like, oh wait, what's this? Ezra Miller has thrown a chair at someone. Oh wait, he's like drop kick some. Like,
do we know what stage they're at in making this movie?
If they pushed it a year out, it was supposed to be out this year and it got pushed to next year, which means that they're likely entering the end of filming filming reshoots and then going into post-production. They're far too
late.
They're way too far along to just replace him. It was never in question that he was always going to be the one to star in this movie. But it does not mean that they couldn't later on shy away from the character and try to implement another version of the character through the multiverse, which is, as we know, a creatively bankrupt way of solving every problem now for Hollywood stars.
Like the sooner you release it, the sooner you can wash your hands of this person and not hire them anymore.
If that's what I'm to, and I don't know if his identity markers, if the things that he's held up as parts of his personality that are to be championed, I don't know if those have kept him employed. I don't know if it's simply the fact that he lords over the role and that they've spent too much time investing money.
It's gotta be, I think, a mix of both. I don't think like his like gender identity is inconsequential,
but it's also probably
not
it's
enough to save him. But also, like, they bet on this person just like they would with any actor when they give them a major roles. That's sort of the start of a franchise, and like he is consistently. It's not like this wasn't like a one-time thing in Iceland. He got too drunk and attacked someone, which would also be horrible. Like, he is consistently showing an erratic pattern of behavior, which if they were like, could you put this person on a press junket? There's no way the press stays away from the stories. Like, then what? While doing Flash interview, Ezra Miller attacks journalists. Like, I mean, this person is now a liability, but they have invested too much money in this to cut him off.
He should lean into it, and the first press thing he should do is carpool karaoke on.
He just like takes the wheel and runs them off the road.
And beyond that, I also want to point out, like this, like you mentioned that it's a pattern of behavior, and that they've bet money. They put all on this dude to run this character for a long-standing franchise. Imagine the risk that Marvel took in 2008 when they co-sponsored Johnny Depp to play Iron Man, who was fresh. Well, I guess not fresh off, but still reeling from being very much a troubled adult Hollywood personality.
I mean, it's why the Grindelwald series kicked him off, right? Like, when Johnny Depp's allegations, like the Amber Heard, his divorce.
Did I say Johnny Depp?
You said Johnny Depp, but
I meant Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
I meant Robert Downey. So imagine you're Marvel in 2008, and Robert Downey Jr. has been in trouble for loads of time, and they bet all on him.
But he is like a known Hollywood phoenix. He has really recovered his reputation, and I honestly,
I don't know how far along that was.
I don't know enough about him. I know he had sort of a sordid past. I just don't know a ton about it, to be honest. And I think that's true of a lot of the audience that follows his Iron Man series.
Yeah, I don't either.
But he hasn't been in trouble since then.
And that's the thing. Like, enough time has gone by that like his legacy has like redeemed itself. With the Johnny Depp, like it's.
I didn't mean to bring up. I didn't mean.
But I'm going to bring up Johnny Depp. Like, it's the same calculation that Grindelwald, Harry Potter spinoff execs, when they decided that he was no longer going to be a part of that movie.
Ezra Miller is in that movie.
They decided that Johnny Depp was too much of a liability, that his reputation would damage the film.
It's crazy that they would decide that about Johnny Depp.
Ezra Miller is in that movie.
Who is ongoing, like, abusive to people.
And Ezra Miller didn't have those allegations at the time, right?
The 2021 Iceland one absolutely did. And then we have this here, which says Ezra Miller's alleged ex claims to be terrified of actor and accused them of abuse. Ezra Miller has a few issues relating to their public image lately. Following an arrest in Hawaii, now Miller is facing viral accusations of abuse from an alleged former partner. Now, obviously, take this stuff with a grain of salt. This is Twitter. She's got pictures with them here. It says of them here. It says
they're both them, by the way.
I meant to say of them, not them. I got it right.
Not them the singular, but them the plural.
I got it right by accident.
The singulars are them, and the plural is them.
I actually got it right that time by accident.
The English language dies slowly and surely.
Following Ezra Miller's recent arrest, this video was uploaded to TikTok about 6 hours ago with the caption, "You took everything from me. Ezra Miller is not a good human. I can now say that without being terrified." I wonder what, if I can play devil's advocate for a minute, what would, as long as she's out of chair reach and not in a karaoke bar, like what would she be afraid of? Like that he would smear her, I guess?
He could sue her for defamation.
Okay, all right. So, okay.
Let's remember our favorite legal action, to sue for defamation.
So it says the original TikTok is no longer public as Solange set their account to private, but many of their claims, so they're both they-thems. Okay.
Yes.
All right. are still circulating online as the video has been reposted across platforms. In the original TikTok, Solange shared photos of the two from 2019 as evidence of their alleged relationship. In the caption, the original TikTok, Solange specifies, "You took everything from me. Ezra Miller is not a good human, and I can finally say it without being terrified. #abuser." In another video, Solange is vague and claims that they do not want to go into too many details about, but has urged any of Ezra Miller's other potential victims to come forward. Vague booking is never a good idea.
Whoa, this is the craziest part. Sorry.
The misgendering part?
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead. You want to read that part?
Okay. Ren, who has a history of documenting alleged abuses by Ezra Miller, posted a tweet containing several screenshots of their conversation with Solange, where they detailed some of Miller's behavior. In one message, Solange said that Miller was off his effing rocker and that Miller allegedly intentionally misgendered them, Solange, and also yelled at an airline employee for seemingly no reason.
Did this person also then misgender them by saying off his fucking rocker?
This is so many layers.
The thing is, no one can keep their pronouns
none of this
straight.
stuff matters.
Look,
I'm
this
so
is why
over
I'm
it.
saying, like, why are we trying to accommodate somebody who doesn't even accommodate on the same exact...
But to be fair, apparently neither one of them do.
Because I'm from the Midwest and I'm doing my best here, but I'm losing patience with these people. If you can't even keep your hands off another person...
this is like basic kindergarten
down to
nonsense.
the misgendering thing, though. Like, he won't even correctly use somebody else's pronouns that are the same as his.
Yep. So,
which makes me think, because this...
Clearly he doesn't care about it that much.
Well, and like this girlfriend or partner uses the term his, right? And she says, he misgendered me. So using his, so is this something he just doesn't show in his private life? He's like, I don't care about this. It just gets me movie deals.
Eye for an eye at this point.
And the part I hate the most about it is that also remember what happened to Bill Murray? Bill Murray basically got into he made a crude joke. Was it?
No one knows what it was.
There's no it wasn't physical contact. He said something off color
that made Keke Palmer
upset. And for that...
Did she officially come out and say, it's me that's upset?
No, but we all know.
But it's the only woman involved in the movie, so...
No, it's only women can be upset. Wow.
Well, they said it was a character in the movie.
And she's the only woman listed on the script, so...
What does it have to do with being a woman?
Because
they said it was a woman.
In the press release.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not just being...
And we also... I was
going to say, how are those Midwestern values over there?
We do have an inkling that Keke Palmer is easily offended,
so... I'm not actually, I'm just being difficult.
And that's, thank you for that. It's very kind of you. So I ask, why is Ezra Miller allowed to, but Johnny Depp is fired and Bill Murray is fired and Fred Savage is fired and everyone's fired
because Ezra is young and going by trendy pronouns. Like that's what it is. I mean, it
can't be that simple.
If it's not that, they're making a really hard case for it to be anything else. He is not even so popular. Like, it's not like he is a super in-demand star. Yeah. Yes, he has some stuff coming up, but like, when we go back to his IMDb page, it's like he was in those episodes of Royal Pains, and then he sort of disappeared for a while, and now he's sort of coming back. So,
process of elimination
we could throw out a nepotism allegation. Is his dad higher up at a studio, and that's why they're like, okay, we finally got to put Ezra in some stuff. I mean, it just doesn't make a ton of sense why they would stand by him unless they were betting on this identitarian, like, we're going to have a trendy they-them person in the movie, and it turns out that person is acting erratically.
It could also change once this movie comes out. They might just dump him like a box.
I bet.
Like a box.
I think
that would be the smart decision.
I mean, also, like, this movie's going to come out. They're still going to have to do press for it. Like, he's not going to appear in a press junket. There is no way.
We'll see about that. I mean, if it's a year out, he could still appear in a press junket.
I think he's going to get worse. I think I'm not, and this is just total speculation on my part, so I please take it with a grain of salt. But his allegations of violence are increasing, right? He's acting more erratically and is probably under more scrutiny. And if this is, let's say, like a mental health issue and he is undergoing some psychological break or trauma, then it's doesn't sound like he is seeking help and recovery for it. So it doesn't seem like he would be ready to be a representation and take accountability for his actions if he's filmed dancing next to his mugshot like he doesn't care, right? Like that's who the studio wants to send out. I just don't think that's
truly like no
seems
remorse.
Like the worst horse to bet on.
Seems like we should just have the Johnny Depp trial going forever and hopefully it just keeps him inside. Then nothing happens. They're lucky.
Are we talking about the Johnny Depp trial?
No, there's no.
That was not a clever segue.
No, it was not. I'm right now. I'm on a Depp detox. I'm detoxing my own from the Johnny Depp trial right now.
Just for the week.
Enjoying a couple because they're off. They're on break right now. They got a week off of trial.
But I feel like you were getting kind of tired of it anyways, or no?
Yeah, but
But more stuff kept coming out.
It
was just like
I've enjoyed
I keep seeing these videos of his lawyer like staring at, like there's a video, I think I sent it to you, I'm not sure, of like Amber Heard staring at Johnny Depp from the defense table, and he's not looking up, but his lawyer is like staring back at her.
There's a great thing on line today about how people are like that's because this is the dystopian world we live in, that they're like shipping Johnny Depp and his lawyer because they're like, look at the way he touches her arm.
The one who like reapplied her lip gloss or something. No, I'm talking about his male lawyer. His name's Ben. All the comment sections are like, we love Ben. I'm like, what is Ben's last name? As a journalist, I need to know.
This is so dystopian. Like you said, it feels like
it says like we stand Ben, and I'm like, you go, Zoomers. I'm excited for you.
It's just this is the consequence of TikTok, and you never know what's real and what's staged. Like, how many videos do you see on TikTok or Instagram that you're like, that was very clearly staged? But there are people out there who buy that stuff who don't realize that what they're looking at isn't a real thing. No, somebody did not just throw a piece of garbage on the ground out of a car, and then the guy gets up and like throws it back in the car, and it's very clearly staged.
But with the trial stuff, it reminds me of the like Britney Spears conservator moment where people would be like, oh, well, she's doing this. Oh, she hasn't been seen in this many days. Oh, she wore a black shirt, which means she read our comment. Like with the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard stuff, I
mean, we said that.
We literally did that.
But they're like, did you notice that his lawyer is acting this way? Do you notice that she can tell someone's taking a picture and she's holding up a tissue? Like if you had, if you have 10 people observing one scenario, they might all notice different details, and they'll probably notice some of the same.
Yep.
But if you get 50,000 people observing it over and over again, like these patterns become much more interesting. That's why I think watching like trials like this unfold on TikTok are kind of fascinating.
We need Ezra Miller to go on trial. That's what we need. We need the great Ezra Miller trial
is he facing?
I don't think so.
No.
He won't go to trial. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.